When I was a child, I was a typical introverted kid, lonely, without friends, and even unsure how to interact with people. Every time I walked into a group, I felt out of place and nervous. Even when I tried to make friends, I found it difficult to fit in, and I often felt helpless and insecure. Eventually, I became interested in social skills and began reading books like How to Win Friends and Influence People, watching various videos about interpersonal communication, and reflecting on the so-called success rules that were shared. But you know what? None of these techniques worked for me. The social struggles persisted, and I didn't understand why until the day I started studying psychology and focusing on human behavior. That's when I realized that the traditional social skills advice and the relationship hacks we often hear are pretty much useless. You might wonder, why didn't these classic books and tips help me solve the problem? Because they focus on superficial things like making eye contact, smiling, and constantly using the other person's name in conversation. These techniques seem effective, but in reality, they don't help me establish deeper, more meaningful connections with people. When I delved into psychology, I realized the real issue wasn't about surface-level skills, but about our inner traits and behaviors. If you've ever felt the same way, like something is missing when it comes to socializing, then keep reading because I'm about to tell you a much more effective approach that will help you develop true attraction and interpersonal charisma. What is charisma? Charisma isn't about looking good, speaking well, or following a set of social tricks. Real charisma comes from how you make others feel special, how you make them feel seen and understood. Simply put, charisma stems from inner attraction, not just outer techniques. Through my study of psychology, I realized that charisma consists of three fundamental elements: presence, warmth, and power. These elements are not separate from each other. They work together to create real attraction. Next, I'll break down each of these elements and help you understand how to use them to enhance your charisma. Part 1. Presence. Presence, simply put, is about being fully engaged in your interactions with others. It's not just about being physically present. It's about whether you're truly present in the conversation. Are you distracted, thinking about what to say next while the other person is speaking? If so, you're missing the opportunity to build a deeper connection with them. We often see people who speak with others, looking completely focused, their eyes locked on the speaker as if they can truly understand the other person's emotions and needs. You'll notice that these people always seem to attract others, not just because they speak well, but because they make others feel valued and heard. This is the power of presence. In 1900, during a UK election, two candidates were running for the same position. As the election neared, a journalist was asked her opinion of the two candidates. She said, "The first candidate makes me feel like he is the strongest person in the UK, while the second candidate makes me feel like I am the strongest person in the UK." In the end, the second candidate won. This story shows us that true charisma doesn't come from showcasing your own strength, but from making others feel like they are the strongest. How to show presence. First, you need to learn how to truly listen. When talking to someone, put aside all distractions and focus on what they are saying. Many people, when conversing, are thinking about what they will say next and miss out on the feelings and details in the conversation. Real listening is not just about hearing the words, but about responding through body language, expressions, and reactions, so the other person feels your attention. Often, when someone shares with you, they don't expect you to offer solutions right away, but they simply want you to listen to their thoughts and feelings. The art of listening is a key part of presence. Furthermore, presence is also about being able to resonate with the other person. When you speak to someone, try to understand their perspective instead of rushing to express your own views. Through resonance, you can create a deep connection, building trust and emotional bonds between you and the other person. We just talked about presence, and now we'll move on to the second element of charisma: warmth. Many people mistakenly think that warmth means you always have to be nice to others, constantly praise them, or do whatever they ask. In fact, true warmth doesn't mean being overly nice to everyone. It's about how your genuine care and sincerity naturally come across to others. I've met many people who appeared friendly, but somehow I felt their behavior wasn't sincere, and I got a sense of superficiality. These people might smile brightly and say all the right things, but their actions felt robotic, as if they weren't emotionally invested in the interaction. Why does this happen? It's because more than 70% of communication impact comes from nonverbal cues, like body language, emotional expressions, and subtle atmosphere. If someone only knows how to say nice things but can't convey genuine goodwill and understanding, their interpersonal relationships will lack true connection. The key to warmth is in how you can make others feel comfortable and accepted through your inner sincerity and actions. It's not just about kindness to others, but about creating a deep emotional bond that brings people closer to you. How to show warmth. First, be genuine and understanding. You need to understand that human communication doesn't rely only on words. Words are just a part of it. What really matters in relationships is how you convey your emotions and feelings. For example, when you're talking to someone, even if you don't say much, the other person can tell if you genuinely care about them based on your tone, body language, and facial expressions. Here's an example. One day, you're talking to someone, and although he isn't showing any particular emotion, you just feel like something's off. You don't feel emotionally touched by him. This often happens when you're talking to someone you don't like. Even though you may appear polite on the surface, your dislike for them is subtly conveyed through your body language and energy, and they can feel it too. On the other hand, when you genuinely like and appreciate someone, your eyes soften, your tone becomes more affectionate, and your body language is more natural. This warmth, which is transmitted unconsciously, is the key to connecting with others. Second, the power of giving true warmth is also about your willingness to give something valuable to others, but not imposing it on them. For example, if you know someone is looking for advice or information, you can offer it, but you don't need to force them to take it. The real power of giving lies and doing so willingly, without expecting anything in return. Example, you're sitting with a friend who mentions they want to rent a house. You know a good website for finding rental listings, so you share the link with them. However, you don't follow up repeatedly asking if they've checked out the site. You offer help, but you don't pressure them to act on it. This gives them the freedom to decide on their own, and they'll appreciate your help without feeling burdened. Many times, people feel that receiving help is a burden, but when you offer help in a relaxed, non-pressuring way, it allows the other person to feel your sincerity and warmth. Third, acceptance, understanding, and honesty. Lastly, accept others and remain honest. It's not just about understanding them, but truly accepting their traits. You need to realize that everyone has strengths and weaknesses, but this doesn't affect your ability to appreciate them. When interacting with others, you don't have to force yourself to agree with them, nor should you excessively flatter them. Honesty is the foundation of good relationships. For instance, someone tells you they like football, but you don't like the sport. You can honestly tell them, "I'm not into football, but I respect that you enjoy it." You don't have to pretend to like something just to please them, and this genuine attitude will make you more attractive. After discussing warmth, we now turn to the third element of charisma: power. I left this for last because it requires a deeper exploration. Personal power isn't about physical strength, but about inner confidence, resilience, and a strong, unyielding spirit. This is a crucial component of charisma. How do you demonstrate inner power? First, don't talk about yourself too much. Many people, in an attempt to gain attention or seek validation, end up talking too much about themselves, even sharing unnecessary details. In fact, talking too much about yourself makes you appear insecure, and it can make others feel uncomfortable. You don't need to constantly prove how great you are, nor do you need to seek approval from others. Example, let's say you're in a group conversation, and every time a topic comes up, you start inserting your personal experiences and achievements, constantly talking about things you've done. This can come across as self-centered and will likely turn others off. Truly, charismatic people don't need to constantly show how great they are. They naturally draw others' attention without trying. Second, don't be afraid to stand your ground. This might sound a bit extreme, but what I mean is, you need to have the courage to stick to your principles. When you know something is right for you, don't hesitate to express your stance. Example, imagine you're at a party and everyone's drinking, but you don't drink. If someone offers you a drink, you should confidently say, "No, thank you, I don't drink." You don't need to justify your choice or worry about what others think. True charisma comes from being yourself, even if that means standing out or being different. Third, strong body language. You might notice that many charismatic people have very natural, relaxed body language. Body language isn't just about how you position your body externally. It's also a reflection of your inner strength. If you can stay relaxed and confident in social settings, your body language will naturally show that. Example, when standing or sitting, maintain an open posture. Don't cross your arms or sit in a tense position, as this gives off a closed vibe. Body language is a major indicator of a person's internal state. If you feel confident internally, your posture will naturally be more relaxed and open, signaling trustworthiness and respect to others. Fourth, confident expression. Some people might feel nervous when speaking in public, but if you can maintain a calm mindset, speak clearly, and not rush to seek others' approval, it will greatly enhance your charisma. Example, let's say you're expressing your thoughts to a group. Instead of seeking validation through exaggerated words, you calmly and powerfully state your position. This confident expression makes you more attractive and influential. Finally, maintain independence and boundaries. Often, people lack charisma because they rely too much on others' opinions or approval. True charisma comes from self-awareness and the ability to make independent decisions. You don't need anyone else to define who you are. Your power comes from knowing yourself and standing firm in your principles. We've discussed the three elements of charisma: presence, warmth, and power. To make these elements truly integrate and become a part of your personal charisma, there's one more crucial component: consistency. Consistency is the key to charisma. If you show a different side of yourself in every situation, people will find it difficult to truly understand you, and they won't be able to feel a strong connection with you. You must maintain consistency in all aspects of your life, whether it's at work, with family, or with friends. Every aspect you show should be authentic. This is the true power of attraction. Example: imagine that you're very serious about work, very gentle with your family, and very laid back with your friends. But if you suddenly become lazy at work or overly serious with your friends, people will feel confused and won't truly understand you. Truly, charismatic people are consistent and authentic across different situations. Their actions and attitudes align with their inner selves, and this avoids creating any false or forced impressions. Emotional control charisma doesn't just come from your inner strength, it also comes from your ability to control your emotions. You need to learn how to stay calm and composed in different social situations. Don't let emotions dictate your behavior, especially in situations that might make you feel nervous or anxious. Staying calm and using reason to handle those complex social scenarios can help you manage your image better. Example: when you're talking to someone you don't particularly like, your emotions may easily get out of control. But if you can manage your emotions, avoid showing hostility, and remain calm and polite, it will make you appear more mature and charismatic. Emotional control is key to building strong relationships. The art of communication. Next, we need to talk about communication skills. Many people think that in social settings the skill is about saying the right things, reacting correctly, and leaving a strong impression. Actually, the most important thing in communication is understanding the other person and responding in your unique way. Example: suppose your friend tells you that they've been facing some challenges. Most people might immediately start offering solutions, but true communication is about listening and understanding the other person's feelings. You can give advice, but more importantly, show that you care about how they feel and understand their situation. If you can do this, you'll find that others will be more likely to open up to you, because they sense your genuine concern, not just that you're trying to prove how clever you are. Sincere praise and care. Praise is an essential part of social interactions. People like to be recognized, but true praise isn't just about flattering others, it should be genuine. You should recognize a person's qualities in your heart and express them sincerely. If your praise is natural and genuine, others will feel your sincerity and be more willing to build a relationship with you. Example: if you notice that a friend is wearing an outfit that suits them perfectly, don't just say, "You look good today." Instead, point out specific details like, "This shirt really brings out your skin tone. It looks great on you." Such specific praise makes the compliment feel sincere, rather than just a generic remark.